Well, good morning, and welcome to Miss Bella Games. A big part of my channel is looking at various MMOs I've tried. From World of Warcraft to Rift and Guild Wars 2, I've played many games. However, the one constant over 14 years has been Lord of the Rings Online. As many of you may know, Lord of the Rings Online, or LOTRO for short, was released by Turbine back in 2007 and is now a respectable 16 years old. Yet despite this, it still has a dedicated community of fans who continue to enjoy the game. Why? Today I'll share some of the reasons I still play LOTRO in 2023. One of the biggest reasons I still play LOTRO is because of its vast open world. The game is set in the world of Middle-earth, and the developers did a great job of bringing it to life. From the rolling hills of the Shire to the towering peaks of Mount Doom, the world of LOTRO is both vast and immersive. There are countless locations to explore, each with their own unique look and feel. As someone who's a big fan of Tolkien's work, being able to explore Middle-earth in this way is a true joy. Some of my favorite locations aren't the ones you might expect, however. Sure, Lothlorien is very pretty, and so is Zemlodris. The Shire feels like a slice of home where neighbors are always welcome to drop by and share a pot of coffee and a slice of freshly baked bread. For me, though, it's the dark and dangerous places that are my favorites. The North Downs, with the silent pale tree trunks of Fornost. Eregion, still battle-scarred from the war waged there by Sauron and his desire to possess all of the rings. Angmar, the seat of power for the Angmarim, loyal to Sauron and deadly in their own right. After all, one of the most potent ring wraiths, the Witch King, hailed from there. There's also Mirkwood, once known as Greenwood the Great until Sauron, disguised as a necromancer, took up residence in Dol Guldur. Of course, I can't forget my favorite kingdom, Khazad-dûm, or Moria as it's commonly known. Founded by Durin in days long past, it was the greatest of the dwarven kingdoms until 1980 of the Third Age, when the dwarves did dig too deep, awakening the Balrog, Durin's bane, and were forced to flee their home. But that's a tale for another time. Needless to say, Moria is vast and dark. From Durin's threshold, where you first enter the Mountain Kingdom, to the 21st Hall, where you find the dwarves preparing their attempt to retake their old home. From the majestic stone trees of the once glorious Second Hall, to the nameless-filled caverns known as the Foundation of Stone, there's so much to see and do. While the settings of LOTRO are immersive and a pleasure to explore on their own, the addition of the music in the game makes the world feel alive. Thanks to truly talented composers such as Chance Thomas, Stefan DiGregorio, Egan Budd, Matt Harwood, and Bill Champagne, the game has some of the best soundtracks of any game I've played. From the haunting rendition of A Journey in the Dark that is one of the first songs to greet you when you enter Moria, to The Road to War, a dark and foreboding melody in the deadly land of Angmar, and beyond. The music is a feast for the ears. Let's pause a moment to appreciate Lands of Eregion, a song which amplifies the desolation of a once beautiful elven kingdom. Another reason I still play LOTRO is because of the game's quests. I appreciate having a lot to do in a game, and LOTRO has a huge variety of quests. These range from simple fetch quests all the way up to epic storylines that take you all across Middle-earth. They are, for the most part, well written and often tie into the lore of Middle-earth in interesting and cohesive ways. Completing quests not only rewards you with experience and loot, but also helps to advance the story of the game. It's a great way to feel like you're making a difference in the world of Middle-earth while following in the footsteps of the Fellowship. It's only fair to note that the game is free to play. New players can download it for free, and, as of last year, there are a wide range of benefits and quest zones to satisfy most people, all the way up to level 95, after which many players will likely find themselves with enough LOTRO points to pick up an expansion or two, especially if they wait for the numerous weekly rotating sales. There's also no need to purchase items from the cash shop, aside from perhaps storage space, if you're someone like me who hoards literally everything. And aside from black steel keys and level boost stones, which I've been vocal about in the past as not liking, the game's shop is less egregious than most. Not perfect by any means, but not bad. LOTRO isn't all questing, however. There's a wide variety of activities outside of questing, including skirmishes, or small-scale battles that you can complete alone or with a group of players. Most of these automatically unlock once a player reaches certain levels, while others, notably in Moria and Mirkwood, are unlocked by doing epic quests. A couple of my personal favorites include Storm on Methedras and the Battle of the Way of Smiths. Instances. These tend to be larger scale dungeons that require a full group and can be quite fun if you have a few friends to play them with. Angmar has some iconic instances, such as Carn Dûm, and both Moria and Mirkwood can boast of several. I recommend trying them out. Festivals are special events that take place throughout the year and offer unique rewards and activities. From the Yule Festival, one of my favorites, to the newer Midsummer Festival that takes place in Minas Tirith and celebrates the wedding of King Elisar and Arwen Undomiel, to many others, these festivals offer a lot of quests and rewards ranging from food items to cosmetic clothing and pets. Housing. Players can choose one of several locations to own their own home in Middle-earth, which they can customize and decorate to their liking. There are a variety of locations to suit your taste. These include Breland Housing with its Tudor-style houses and huts, Ered Luin, which boasts both housing for elves featuring iconic elven architecture, and dwarves who have carved a place for themselves in the mountains. Of course, we can't forget the cozy hobbit burrows located in the Hobbit neighborhood. And for those willing to spend the extra money, there are also Gondorian neighborhoods with grand old houses, Rohirrim housing boasting two distinct neighborhoods and large mead halls, and the dwarven housing of Gundabad, located deep in the mountains of Erebor in the Great Hall under the mountains. Since I started working on this video, they've added a new premium housing, the Lindleby Homesteads. Located in the Wells of Langflood, these houses boast huge yards and lots of beautiful views and privacy. Not only does the game itself have fantastic music, but the music system in the game allows players to play music alone or with others, using various instruments. This has led to frequent fun music events entirely player-driven. Quite frequently, you can find these located in the town of Bree, sometimes at the festival grounds, and the yearly Weathertop Festival. Cosmetics. While technically not an activity, I've always enjoyed the cosmetics in the game. From armor sets to blacksmith tunics to pretty dresses, the game provides players with a wide range of options. And the dye selection, while not as varied as Guild Wars 2, is still one of the wider ranges I've seen. Some of my current favorite dresses come from the Midsummer Festival, including Orwyn's wedding dress. The best part is that most cosmetics can be had through reputation vendors in various regions or by participating in festivals and buying them with tokens. And, with the rare exception, most are account bound, allowing the player to swap pieces with other characters on their account. Player versus monster play. While I have personally never participated in player versus monster play, the PvP in the game is unique. Firstly, it is, in its own instance, the Ettenmoors, where players can choose to play as their own player character, the Free People, or select one of several enemy monsters to play. These include the Orc Reaver, Orc Defiler, Spider Weaver, Orc Black Arrow, Orc War Leader, or Warg Stalker. Once in the moors, they can engage in quests alone or with friends to earn commendations and infamy or renown. In short, LOTRO ensures that there is always something to do, no matter what your playstyle is. Perhaps one of the biggest reasons I continue to play LOTRO is because of the game's community. Over the years, I've made many friends in the game who I continue to play with to this day. The community is incredibly friendly and helpful, and there's always someone willing to lend a hand or offer advice. The game's social features, such as the kinship system, make it easy to find like-minded players to group up with. In all, I'd say that LOTRO's community is a breath of fresh air and makes an already enjoyable game even more so. In past years, I even had the opportunity to participate in roleplay with many wonderful people. Between the cosmetics, the wide variety of emotes available, and the fact that PvP in the game is instanced, it was a friendly atmosphere for people to share intertwined stories. While it's been a long time and I can no longer attest to the state of RP in the game, I recall those times fondly. However, if RP is of interest to someone, I recommend Flanderval and Laurelin, both being the default RP servers for the US and Europe, respectively. Of course, I can't just paint the whole game in sunshine and unicorns. It has its cracks, as games tend to have the older they get. So let's take a look at a couple of my biggest concerns. With the game being over 16 years old, the graphics are starting to show the wears of time, particularly in the starter zones. It becomes more apparent as people progress through the game to some of the newer areas, including the newest starter zones, Swanfleet and Cardolan, both featuring much improved landscapes and town layouts. This isn't good, because most people judge a game by the first area they see, and if they don't like what they see, then they're not likely to continue on. Pair the graphics with the intermittent lag issues that have plagued many of the servers over time, and it leads to a less enjoyable experience and lower retention. People can frequently forgive one or the other, but not nearly as often will they forgive both. While I don't believe that graphics are necessarily the most important thing in a game, and the developers have made efforts over the years to update the game's graphics and improve performance, it's my hope that they'll take the time to continue improving the early areas more in the future. I believe that changes like that would add longevity to the game and keep more people. The crafting system. What can I say about the game's crafting system, other than it's outdated and doesn't offer as much utility as it once did? While, true, it's still possible to craft useful items, the system could definitely use an overhaul. I would especially like to see crafting become more important after level 50, where many recipes in areas like Lothlorien, Mirkwood, and Inniswaith become reputation-bound, and for crafters to be able to make gear nearly comparable to some of the better gear acquired by doing raids. As a crafter myself, this would give me incentive to work on my crafting skills, knowing that the time and effort were going to produce quality goods that were more than just vendor fodder. And this seems to be one wish that's getting granted. One of Standing Stone Games' objectives for this year is revising the crafting system. Among their end goals is to allow players to choose which trio of professions they want to learn, providing crafters the ability to make some competitive items through their professions, and expanding the existing crafting system. While I'm not sure how breaking apart the vocations is going to affect my various crafters, I'm really excited to see what these changes will bring. So, there you have it. Those are my reasons why I still play Lord of the Rings Online in 2023. From its vast open world to its friendly community, LOTRO has a lot to offer. While the game may not be as cutting edge as some newer titles, it still holds up remarkably well and is so much fun to play. If you're a fan of Tolkien's work, or just looking for a new MMO to play, I highly recommend giving LOTRO a try. Until next time, bye for now.